Hi guys, and welcome to World Tanks Review. I'm Buddy1927, and today I'm on the test server for patch 9.5. It is 12/9/2014, and I'm actually on the I'm actually using, instead of my EU account, they actually let me use my US account, so I got a lot more tanks to choose from and to maybe possibly move crews around. One thing I'd like to say, test servers means you're testing the server. You're looking for bugs. You're checking out the vehicles and see maybe information was wrong, maybe it needs some improvement. And you go on this forum and you give that information on the test server forum that Wargaming can take a look at and see if they agree with you, to maybe improve a certain tank, to try to fix any bugs that you might have found in the game itself. So that's what a test server is. So the information I'm giving you on these on the 9.5 patch videos, the information about the tanks, the stats on the tanks may change. It may change 3 hours after I did the video and uploaded it. So what they want to do is try to make the best gaming experience that you can have and try to make it as more realistic as possible. So that's what the test server is, to find out the bugs and make sure all the bugs are worked out, any improvement on the tanks that you need to do. Maybe give more armor to this tank, maybe give a little bit more firepower, use different types of ammunition instead of the AP and HE rounds, the standard pack. Maybe go with APCR, AP, APCR, and heat, HE. You might want to start with APCR, HESH, and heat rounds. It depends on the tanks. There's a lot of people on this test server that actually research the real tanks and try to make it a little bit more realistic and give that information out to Wargaming themselves. They have a lot of technicians and a lot of consultants on these tanks, so they are trying to improve the game as much as possible, make it as more realistic as possible, and try to do as much as they possibly can to improve the game. And that's one of the reasons why they have these test servers, is to fine-tune everything and make sure all the bugs are worked out, so when it goes live, you don't have as much problems when it goes live. Also, any information, the stats I give currently on these tanks may change during the test server, and may change, and more than likely will change during the time it's on the test server to the time it actually goes live. So if I say this tank has 50, 38, and 38 of armor on the hull, it might change to 75, 50, and 38. It varies from tank to tank. I'm just using that as an example when it goes live. So not all the information is going to be true. So basically what I'm trying to do right now in these videos is try to give you the basic understanding in what the tank looks like, and basically what it is currently. It will change when it actually goes live. It may change when it goes live. It may not change when it goes live. So don't take all this technical information down. I'm just basically going over, giving the basics of this tank, and I'm showing you some action. Showing you a replay of the tank in action, so you understand what the tank can and cannot do. Information, like I said, will change. Will more than likely, this is a test server, so more than likely will change. Today we are going over the Tier 5 Sherman III medium tank in the British line. This is one of the new tanks. This is the Tier 5 version. This is a Sherman tank that was made in the U.S. and was sent over to England, and they changed it or modified it to fit their needs. They did that with a lot of our tanks, with a lot of U.S. tanks. There's some other tanks that are on the British line, because there's no Canadian line, that are actually Canadian too. So basically, if you see a tank that has a name after it, I'll give you a good example. The Firefly, which is the Tier 6 version of this tank, it's actually a Canadian tank, not a British tank. Anytime you hear an animal in a British tank line, it's usually was used by the Canadians. There is one tank in this game that was not used by the U.S., but was actually used by Canada. It's called the Ram 2. That's one of the premium tanks in the American medium line. But that's just a little bit of history. And I got that information actually from a couple Canadian soldiers that I know that both they either work on the tanks, the tank mechanics. I also know one guy who's actually a tanker in the Canadian Army. I don't talk to him as much as the mechanic, because the mechanic is actually in my client, so I get some information from him about how Canada modifies and does how they get certain equipment and stuff like that from other countries. So that's it. This is the Tier 5 medium. It's actually looks like what? The M4 Sherman. This is basically it. It's a good looking tank because it's an American tank. It was made in America. This modified a little bit to fit the British needs. And let's take a look at the tech tree and we'll show you how to get there. Now, you start off with the Vickers Medium Mark 1 and you go to the M2 to the Stuart 1-4, and this is where the new British medium line starts. You got the Grant, which is the Tier 4, which is basically an M3 Lee. You got the Sherman III, which is basically an M4, and then you got the Firefly, which is the other. So you got 3 new medium tanks right here. Also, if you go drop down one line, you go all the way up to the Tier 4, then Valentine, which is a light tank. Then you start the new tank destroyer line all the way up to Tier 10. They stopped they only did 3 new mediums, and they did 5 new tank destroyers on here, and they did some modifications on some other tanks. The FV-215B 183. They did some modification, beefed up the armor a little bit, and did some other stuff. But we'll go over those a little bit later. Let's take a look at how the tank comes equipped. Once you have everything researched, you have a choice of 5 different guns, ranging from Tier 4 to Tier 6. You end up with a Tier 5 turret. You end up with a Tier 8 radio, a Tier 5 engine, and Tier 5 set of tracks. And of course, the next tank in line is the Tier 6 Sherman Fury. Sorry guys, Sherman Firefly. I just finished watching a special on the history of the Fury. So sorry, I'm a little mixed up in my head right this second. So let's take a look at the specs on this, and remember, this information may change later on. So remember that. Let me blow this up. This is straight from World of Tanks. That's in the game itself. So we start off with 460 hit points. That's not too bad. 460 horsepower. That's not bad. Top speed is actually 48 kilometers per hour, which is actually pretty good. Traverse speed is actually pretty good at 37 degrees per second. The front haul on this is 50, 38, and 38. The hull itself, the front, sides, and rear. So not much armor, but you also in a Tier 5, so you don't expect that much armor. The turret is a 63, 63, 63 front, rear, and side, so that's pretty good. We'll go over the gun a little bit later. The turret traverse speed is 37 degrees per second. Max view range on this is 367 and 550 on the signal range, so that's not too bad. As you can see, it's basically a Sherman. You have the angle of the front armor and a little bit on the sides and rears, but you want to make sure you protect your hull as much as possible. If you can, try to haul down. Protecting the weak spots on any tank, any machine gun port is a weak spot. So you got 3 right here. So you got to watch these 3. You have 2 more weak spots, and if they're good shots, they can hit them. You got 2 cupolas right here, 2 viewpoints. So try to protect them as much as possible. Now the cupola is rounded a little bit, but you still have that weak spot right there. Just like on any Sherman, if you can protect it, angle your tank. That will help you a little bit. So that this tank does come with crew of 5. You have your commander, your gunner, your driver, your radio operator, and a loader. So that's not too bad. So let's take a look at the gun. Trying to do 2 things here at once. I'm going to blow this up so you can see this a lot better. Now this is the top gun, the tier 6 gun I have on here. It is a 76 caliber gun. It fires 14.19 rounds per minute. That's pretty good. Average damage is 128, 149, and 38. I'm sorry, average penetration is pretty good. Average damage is 115, 115, and 185. Accuracy is not the best gun. It's not that accurate at 0.43 at 100 meters. So it's not that accurate. So you gotta make sure you aim correctly. Once you get used to playing the tank, you know where it's gonna fall short, if it's gonna go left or right, and of course, as the crew grows, that actually will improve a little bit more on your tank, and adding certain mods and certain skills and perks will also help it too. Average aiming time on this is 2.3 seconds, so it's about average. Of course, if it was under 2 seconds, it would be a pretty good aiming time. Anything over 2 seconds is okay. Over 3 seconds, you have a slow aiming time. So that's not too bad. So this one carries armor piercing, and high explosive rounds. So that's the gun. Let me close that too. Let's take a look at the shells. Okay, you got two types of shells, AP shells. So you got the 76 AP M62, 76 caliber. Penetration is 96 to 160, and HP damage is 86 to 144. The gold round, or the AP M79, which is another AP, which is 76. It's 112 to 186 on pen, and 86 to 144. Has a little bit higher pen, but it does about the same damage. Then you get the HE round, the high explosive round. It's a 76 caliber round again. Of course, it's on a 76 millimeter gun, so yes, it's going to be a 76 round, 76 caliber round. Average pen is 29 to 48. Average damage is 139 to 131. Burst radius is 1.09. So those are the 3 different shells on this tank. The only difference between the AP regular and the AP gold, it does a little bit higher penetration, but does the same amount of damage as the regular AP. So the mods let's close that. The mods I'm currently using on this thing is the gun rammer, which takes 10% off my loading. Vents, which gives me a +5 to my cruise, and I'm actually using the enhanced gun lane drive on this tank. Now these mods are the ones I'm using. You can use any mods you want. I'm not telling you these are the mods that you have to use. I'm just using these. This is my basic medium setup. You could use coated optics on this thing. You could use a camouflage shot. You can use a spall liner. Whatever you want. It's up to you. I'm not telling you what to use. I'm just showing you what I use and what works for me. It might not work for you. You might want something a little bit different. It's up to you. Not my choice. It's your choice. So that's the basics. This is the base view model of this. I do have this tank in action, so let's go to the clip. I will see you all on the other side. Hi guys, and welcome to World of Tanks replays. I'm Buddy1927, and today I'm on the test server on my Sherman III Tier 5 British medium tank. This is one of the new tanks in the British line. And as you can see, we are on Live Oaks, and we don't have, again, we're on the test server, so we don't have 15 on 15. It's whatever is available at the time we are doing these things. So I'm actually going down the 0 line and trying to see what we can do here with this tank. I'm going to speed things up so you don't have to wait through all that. And as you can see, this tank moves pretty fast. This tank does go up to about 45 kilometers per hour. So, and as you can see there's a lot of Russian people on this server, and I don't speak Russian. So hopefully we got another tank over there. I did no damage to him. So the front gun mountlet is actually pretty good. And as you can see, he was actually, from me, he was hiding his hull pretty good, but he was not hiding it pretty good for the new British TDs. And they had a good angle on him and actually did a lot of damage to him. So I'm just pushing up. I know he's wounded and has his legs tucked between his tails right now, and he's not there. He moved. He went bye-bye. Here we go. That's KV-1S. Hit him for 113. Good reload on this thing. I should have stayed where I was instead of moving. Bounced. Got one of the TDs. Hit him. SU-85, there we go. And he's dead. So right now scores 3-0. We're kind of moving on. And you gotta remember, on these test servers you don't have 15 on 15. It can range from anywhere from 6 on 6 all the way up to 15 on 15. So there's a lot of wait time in the queues. So there's a lot of work that is being done by the people who are on these test servers. If you want more information, go to World of Tanks forums, check the test server 9.5, and you can get some information about this tank, about anything that's going on with 9.5 patch. Blind shot. Hit him. Took him out. So I have 1 kill. Score is 5-1. There's 7. It's 7 on 7 right now. So instead of going for the easy cap out, our team has decided to go ahead and push forward and try to kill everyone. There's only 1 tank alive. There he is. VK1. Did not penetrate. Missed. And took him out. did 401 on him and took him out. So that's game, guys. And that's just one of the quick. That's one of the replays I did on the Sherman III. Like I said, when you're on the test server, everybody wants to play the tier 10s, so it's kind of hard to get into a low tier or medium tier battle because everybody wants to play the tier 10s. They don't care because you can get all the tanks that you want. You could get all the tier 10 tanks you want, and that's where everybody's going to be at. So I'm trying to play the other ones and try to see how the tanks actually do and do pretty good. Now, you saw a couple of my shots where the thing is I have some medical issues going on right now, and that's why my aiming is a little shaky. It's basically my hand is shaking a little bit on those shots, and that's why. It's not because of the gun itself, it's because of my physical abilities right now. So that's one of the issues I have been going. That's why one of the reasons why I have not been doing any Twitch broadcasts here lately is because of these issues that I'm trying to get under control. So if you like this video, please like this video on YouTube. If you have any questions or comments, please leave your comments down below on my YouTube channel underneath this video. If you haven't done yet, subscribe to my channel. Even though I do have some medical problems going on with me, I am still trying to make some videos, not just World of Tanks, and I'm trying to do other ones like Minecraft, World of Warcraft, and I'm also trying to do some I've been asked to be a do reviews of new games that have come out or are coming out. So check my YouTube channel, subscribe, that way you know the latest videos I do come out. So I'd like to thank you again for watching, and do me a favor, save some tanks for this shaky hand of mine. I'd like to thank you again, and you all have a good day.